Hey guys, I just wanted to walk you through my GSA settings and show you what I use. These are the settings that work for me, and it's what I use on a daily basis, but feel free to change it up. I would start with this first, and then from there you can play around with it and try different anchor text percentages and all that, but this is just where I'm at right now and what's worked for me. So I suggest you start with this. Alright, the first thing, as I'm sure you'll know, that we really don't use that many platforms. We pretty much stick here to guest books and image comments. And you just want to go ahead and select all the guest books and all the image comments and just let GSA scrape whatever it can. If you want to, you can use these other platforms like article, blog comment, directory, document sharing. They're not going to hurt you in Bing. The only problem is Bing won't find them most of the time. But if you feel like you want to take that shotgun approach and just throw everything up against the wall to see what sticks, you can do that. It's better if you do that with a verified list. If you're processing a raw list with like a million links or whatever, that's going to take up a lot of time and it's going to limit how fast you can scale. So stick with a verified list with verified targets. Even if it's smaller, it's still worth it. That way you're not wasting that much time. But like I said, I like image comments because the captchas are easy. We don't need registration, we don't need emails. You basically put in these settings right here, you enable these two platforms, and you click OK, and you're done. It's so easy to set up and it takes almost no time. But if you want to go after the other platforms, feel free to do it. It's not going to hurt you at all. It won't. I just think it's a waste of time and a waste of resources. But if you feel better about doing that, then you do what you need to do. It's fine. Now, I will make an exception on social network. There are two platforms here that I think are useful. The first is PHP Fox. PHP Fox does a good job of putting the profiles and blog posts that are created pretty close to the homepage. You're usually about 3 clicks, sometimes 4. It depends on the how the website is set up, but you're usually 3 clicks away from the homepage, and that's good because that's exactly what we want. And Oxwall does an even better job. This is another exception that I'll make in terms of social network platforms. A lot of the times you're really just 2 clicks away from the homepage, because what happens is it'll list the blogs on the side of the homepage. It'll have a link to the blogs, or sometimes in the navigation bar, either one. And you click on the blogs, and right away it takes you to the latest blog posts, and it shows the full entry. So you could be 2 clicks or less away from the homepage. Again, it depends how the site is set up. Some of them don't show the full post, but a lot of them do, and that puts you 1 click away from the homepage and a maximum of 2 away from the homepage. So these two are ones that are okay to use. Again, you have to go through the problem with reCAPTCHA on both of these, so you'll need an OCR service or a CAPTCHA solving service. For these, you also need email accounts, so it will slow you down a little bit, but if you want to target them, you can. And again, if you want to go after all these other platforms, that's not a problem. It's just not what I do, because they just don't help. I like sticking to these two. But you can go after these other ones. You can go here with these social network and bookmarks and even blog comments if you want. If it's something that you think will be valuable to you, then by all means do it. Okay, you already know about the URL, keywords, anchor text. Here you want to focus on one anchor text at a time. That doesn't mean you can only target one anchor text for your website, but you should focus on one at a time. You really don't want to get too long tail with this. At most, you'd want to target 2-3 keywords, but for every site I build, I focus on just one. I get much better results that way. I rank higher and I rank faster by just focusing on one single anchor text for each site. You'll do what you wish, but that's just my advice. And here I always use this one anchor text right here, which is of course my main anchor. And for partial match, those of you who aren't familiar with partial match, it's with the example diet pills, a partial match anchor would be diet, or it would be pills. It's basically just a fraction or a part of the main anchor text, which is why it's called the partial. And that's what I use. You want to keep that at 10%. Branding anchor text, this includes your raw HTTP URL. You want to keep that around 20%. Use, if this was mydietpills.com, I'd use mydietpills right here. This is basically just the site name without the domain extension, is all that is. And then of course the actual domain and the naked URL. Generic anchor text, 20%. Again, is what I like. You don't want to use 100% anchor text. You want to use some generic anchor text and a little bit of branding and a little bit of partial. But if you add these up, you'll see that this is 20, 20, 10, which is 50. And then the main anchor text is going to be 50% of all the links. And again, I'm sure you guys know how to use GSA. I'm not going to walk you through all these options and email verification. You know how to do that. You don't need me to guide you through that. But the most important part is choosing the right links, and then using the right anchor text percentages. And again, this is what works for me. It's what I recommend you start off with. And then if you want to play around with it, you can tweak it and mess with this and that and do all that stuff later after you've ranked, after you've made some money. But for now, I suggest you stick with this. And that's pretty much it. There's really not much else to say. It's GSA. Everybody knows how to use this. You know how to use it, so there's not much more to say.